Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's not too early. 7:45 on a Sunday. I'm just getting up early for some training after working last night. After working last night, I was doing security for a while, and then I picked up a serving shift. That is crazy. That's a whole other ball game. If you've ever served before, you know what I'm talking about. That was a big moment for me personally because the social skills are they're not top notch. We'll say that. So having to greet strangers and then communicate with them in order to help them get a good meal, and work through the whole process, and then take the hits to the ego when you're not on top of your game, like you don't know the menu really well or you don't know drinks really well, and they're asking you questions and you're supposed to be the guy or the expert, and you got to roll with the punches and just do your best, and explain yourself like, hey, like, this is my first shift, so take it easy. But learned a ton, and I think it's the right move for right now where I'm at. It's uncomfortable, and that's what I just watched a video from Tony Robbins the other day, and he's like, the one trait that separates uber successful people from mediocrity is their willingness to do uncomfortable things, over and over and over and over again, to the point where they find some level of satisfaction from being uncomfortable. And last night, I was so cringy, so awkward, so many times, just choppy, and like working with folks at the table, and like I say something and it just doesn't land, or they're like, "What?" And like, it's like, so I'll be right back, or I'll get that for you, or let me go grab that. And as soon as I leave, I've got this giant smirk on my face. One, because I'm like, I'm an idiot. Like, I don't know anything. And two, I'm also just like, I'm really thrown into the fire here. Like, throwing myself into the fire, you know? Because I could have said, no, like, I'll take it easy. I was supposed to shadow this person all night, and I shadowed her for about an hour out of a 6-hour shift. And she's like, do you want to take a table yourself? And I could, no, I'll keep shadowing you. But I was like, no, let's do it. Let's take that step. And the ego, the ego took some hits last night. It got battered and bruised, but we survived it, right? And I know that sounds silly, but when you grew up in an environment where you had to develop certain coping mechanisms, your nervous system was under so much stress that you had to develop these traits and characteristics and behavior patterns to cope and survive. Sounds exaggerated, but that's how the nervous system interprets those things. Then rewiring those patterns and exposing yourself to those same social dangers, it's very volatile for the ego. So I'm very pleased with myself. The upside with serving is, more or less, you can kind of judge on your performance, right? If you got no tips, if you sucked, then you sucked. That, like, the numbers don't lie. Like, you did a terrible job. And now maybe you just got super unlucky in that the cooks weren't performing well, and everybody who came in was just in a bad moment in their life. But come on, you're gonna interact with, who knows, 50 to 100 or 150, 200 people in a night. And then maybe that's exaggerated, I don't know. I should know the numbers. That's how I'd really, like, if I wanted to dial this in and get really good, you understand all those numbers, all those statistics, all those averages, and like you'd know in the back of your head, okay, I gotta juggle 4 to 5 tables at once to work through blank tables an hour. So over a 6 or 7 hour shift, I should work through this many tables. Like, if the average bill per customer is, $25 or $30, well then, and you can do it all out if you're really dialed in, and you can take that to any domain. Like, that's what we do with lifting weights, right? You look at reps and sets and volume over time compounded, like, and if you just show up and do the work, you get the results. It's just like, that's the law of cause and effect. It's a universal law. Stay hydrated, boys. Boys and girls. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know why girls would be watching this, but anyways. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. You could say, I mean, I'm 30 now. Like, you could be like, yeah, like, you're too old to be doing that stuff, to like try this stuff for the first time. But I'm totally removing the social stigmas or attitudes towards anything, really. Like, I'm getting to the point, I just don't care what other people think, because unless it affects my livelihood or something, and of course, I want to be a good person, and I want to be kind and thoughtful and compassionate and caring, but I can't spend too much time focused on what does this person think of me, what does this person want for my life. Like, that stuff doesn't matter. Once you get to a certain point, it's like, this is your life, this is my life. Like, like Drake, this is my ting. So just realize, yeah, this is your ting, man. Like, time's a ticking, fam. Time's a ticking. And you don't get another go, as far as we know. And I have wasted so much time worrying about other people's opinions. I always used to say, like, everything happens for a reason, yes, but everything is the way it is for a reason. Like, if someone's really, let's just say, for example, aggressive, they're likely very aggressive for a reason. Likely, they had someone overstepping their boundaries, and as a coping mechanism, they understood, oh, if I can be aggressive back to them, that gets people to back off, and it keeps me safe, right? So it's like, nothing's random. It's all got this, universal divine order to it, and it all makes sense if you can isolate all the variables and identify the cause and effect relationships between everything. I hope these videos aren't too ranty. I bet you they are. I bet you for the average person, it's like, what is going on here? But I use these as, like, it's a very cathartic exercise for me. And I just hope that, one, I'm solidifying all of my thoughts and ideas and kind of trying to make it coherent. But two, I'm trying to share that, for people who are younger or dealing with some of the same things. It doesn't even matter how old you are, but if you're in a position where you've been thinking about certain things that I talk about, and this gives you a little bit of confidence to get after it, to try something new, to stick with a new behavior pattern, or inspires you for change, like, that's really what it's all about. And, like, if one person's life is altered for the better because I've made a video on YouTube, like, that's what it's all about, really, for me. So yeah, I had the whole idea for this video this morning. I was like, what am I going to talk about? And it was going to be that I don't, you know, I don't have a plan per se for these videos. I just know that, all right, I don't have a clear vision for the future, which is, it could be an obstacle in some way. Like if you want to go somewhere, you got to know where you're going. But in the same, on the same token, in the same breath, there's this idea of building the plane as you're flying it that I think is very attractive to me. Because I don't know, I think life is too crazy and evolving too much. It's very hard to predict what anything is going to be like in the future. So I think the most sustainable strategy is to just do your best to make bets and, short-term calculations of, okay, I think this should feel good. Like this should work out for me. This should be beneficial for my life. And what's the risk to reward ratio? And is it worth it? And then if it is, just show up consistently. Just keep doing it for a while. Just keep doing it. You don't have to commit for 5 years or a year even. Just commit to showing up regularly over time. That's the key. It's all fine and dandy if you get all motivated one day and you're like, yeah, I'm a runner now. I'm going to go for a run. And you go for a run and you got that win that day. That's cool. That's great. But the game is longevity. It's really about, can you keep going for runs week after week, month after month, year after year? Like, that's where the real gains come in and they compound. Anybody can go for a run today. Like, no sweat. But can you stay in the game, the running game, long enough to really see those compounding benefits? Because anything in life is not easy, and anything worth doing in life takes time. That's just the way it goes. So what are you willing to commit to, and what are you willing to put in the work to getting your goal? And like I said, last night was my first serving shift. I don't even know, I'm still kind of on the fence if I want to do it a lot, but it was just a very impactful experience on many levels. Exciting. I mean, my heart rate was up, I don't know, on average probably at 110. Like, I was cranked up, like, oh shit, like, let's go. It's so ridiculous. And you talk to people who've been serving for any amount of time and it's like, whatever, sometimes they may get overwhelmed, but it's just like anything else for them. But the first time is like, holy shit. But I don't know where my life is going. I have no clue. I have a rough idea of, okay, like, this would be cool if I could achieve that, like, that'd be all right. And I take steps in that general direction. But so it's very difficult for me to say, this is why I'm making these videos, because in, X amount of time, this is where I'll be, and you can follow along on my journey. No, like, I'm not gonna say I might end up a screw up or something. That's not gonna happen. I will be successful, but at what? I have no idea. Hopefully at like a bunch of things. That'd be cool. I do like that. But anyways, less about that, more about the wins in the short term. Just stay focused, have those long-term goals and whatever, but stay focused on today, on the next step. How are the systems looking in the now? Because there is no tomorrow. That doesn't matter. All that matters is what you do today to move you forward, even the smallest step. So that's a part of these videos here. So anyways, hope you liked it. If you liked it, like it. I'm trying to keep them less than, 20 minutes maybe, because if I go on YouTube and I see a video that's like 25 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, like I can't waste my life here watching this. But if it's valuable, I don't know. If you're still watching this, you're goated. You're goated with the sauce. Appreciate you. Yeah, if you have any thoughts, feel free. Share them in the comments. Good, bad, indifferent, I don't care. Just let me know, and we'll chat. I appreciate you, and have a great Sunday. All right, much love. Bye.